Okay, let's get right into it. When you're building wealth, there are these big milestones you aim for, right? But what if I told you that one of the most exciting ones, hitting $250,000, is also one of the most dangerous? Yeah, you heard me. Today, we're going to talk about the quarter million illusion. And it's this sneaky psychological trap that can literally stop your progress cold. This quote, it just nails it. Just let that sink in for a second. You're not rich, but you're dangerous. Dangerous to who? Not the market. You're dangerous to yourself, to your own financial future. See, this isn't about some outside risk. It's about the risk you become to your own success. I know what you're thinking. It makes no sense, right? You've scrimped and saved, you invested, you did all the right things to get to this point. So how on earth could success be a trap? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down, because the answer isn't in your portfolio, it's in your head. All right, so let's call it what it is, the quarter million trap. And just to be super clear, this has absolutely nothing to do with a stock market correction or the economy. Nope, this is an internal battle, and it starts the second you hit that magic number. See, here's the thing. $250,000 is just enough money to make you feel like you finally cracked the code. I mean, it's a serious amount of money, and it proves your strategy is working. But that feeling, that little taste of major success, it can start to warp your thinking and plant the seeds of your own undoing. And that tiny shift in your mindset, it gives birth to something we can call the overconfidence monster. And no, this isn't some cartoon character. It's a very real psychological bias that pops up when a little success makes you feel completely invincible. It's that little voice whispering in your ear saying, hey, you're not just disciplined, you're a genius. You know, there's actually a technical name for this feeling, the illusion of arrival. It's that exact moment you stop seeing your success as the result of a solid, repeatable, and, let's be honest, probably pretty simple plan. Instead, you start to believe it's because you've got some special skill, some secret insight nobody else has. You feel like you've finally arrived. And this just lays out the disconnect perfectly. In your head, you feel like an investing genius. But the reality? A simple plan just worked. You feel like you can't possibly lose. But the reality is you just followed the rules. So you start thinking, okay, it's time for smarter, more complicated moves, totally forgetting that boring old consistency was the real secret sauce all along. So how does this all turn into a real threat to your money? Well, once that overconfidence monster has you totally convinced of your own brilliance, it starts to nudge you down a much more exciting and way more dangerous path. And that's the lure of speculation. All of a sudden, those boring index funds that built your entire foundation, they feel way too slow. You start looking at high-risk speculative gambles because, hey, you're a genius who can spot the next big thing, right? You start to actually believe you can beat the market, not just by luck, but all the time. And in the process, you completely forget what got you to this dance in the first place. Okay, so what's the real cost of giving into this? This isn't just about a small little setback. The price you pay for listening to that monster on your shoulder, oh, it's catastrophically high. We're talking about wiping out years of your hard work in a flash. Let's just look at this number again. $250,000. Think about all the years of saving that went into that, the automatic contributions you never skipped, the crazy market swings you had to ignore to get here. It's a huge achievement built on pure patience. This chart shows you the brutal, unforgiving math. So at year zero, you're sitting pretty at $250K. If you just stick to the plan with normal market growth, in 5 years, you could be looking at $375,000, maybe even more. But make one bad, overconfident bet, and 5 years later, you could be right back where you started. All that time, all that potential growth, poof, gone. So let that really sink in. One single moment of feeling like you're smarter than the system, that one illusion of arrival, can literally hit the reset button on 5 years of your financial life. It is a devastating mistake, and it's one you inflict on yourself. All right, so how do you fight this thing? How do you avoid this trap that's waiting for you? Well, the answer is actually beautifully simple. You have to embrace the one thing that monster is telling you to abandon. You have to embrace the power of boring. Here's a super simple 3-step playbook. Step 1, recognize the urge. When you get that little itch to do something clever or make a risky play, just call it what it is. That's the overconfidence monster talking. Step 2, go back and look at your original financial plan. Remind yourself why you chose that simple strategy in the first place. And step 3, Make the conscious choice to stick to boring. Double down on what's already working. This right here is the whole key to moving forward. That path to your first $250,000, it's not some beginner mode that you graduate from. It's the exact same foundational strategy that is going to carry you to $1 million and then way beyond. Seriously, don't try to fix what isn't broken. So as we start to bring this all home, let's look past the numbers for a second and really focus on the big lesson here. Your journey to financial freedom is going to be full of outside challenges, for sure. But sometimes the biggest ones, they come from within. And really, this is what it all comes down to. The market is going to do what the market is going to do. You can't control it. What you can control is your own behavior, mastering your own psychology, knowing your weak spots, and just staying disciplined. That is, without a doubt, the most valuable financial skill you can ever have. And that's the question I want to leave you with. Hey, getting to $250,000 proves you can beat the odds. It is an incredible thing. But the next challenge, and maybe the hardest one, is the one staring back at you in the mirror. You've proven you can win the game, but can you conquer yourself? Because your next million absolutely depends on it.